Hello. Now we are
Hi.
here on Meet the Speaker with Renee, and we're super excited. We are at least 15 days, I think, for the Sustainable Notary Conference, and this is going to be nothing but amazing. Just like every other speaker, we're going to be coming live, and they're just going to bring so much information to us. Like, it's just a wealth of knowledge, and if you want to be a part of something that is the breakthrough conference of the year, this is the conference to be at. It is at the most amazing hotel that's been built literally just 4 years ago. And I mean, like, you gotta be there. So if you're on the ground, make sure you get your ticket. We still have Notary 15 available before it sells out. And then also, we just released about 7 days ago, we are going live. So, in other words, get your ticket if you just unfortunately unable to be there, but you want the information. Make sure you get 15% off at the Virtual 15 on our website, www.sustainablenotary.com, sustainablenotaryconference.com. All right, with that being said, let me introduce you to someone that is just on fire. She is nothing but amazing. I thought I was a little young and corporate, but baby, Miss Ebony, she is fire. And I can't wait because when we look at successful people, we always look at those that are 45 and 55 and 60, that they are usually our fathers or our mentors and things like that. But we can definitely be a mentor, in the spaces that we are, knowing that we have X amount of years of experience. So I wanted to bring out the best, and we have Miss Ebony. All right, introduce yourself. Who do you represent? What are your name? What is your profession? And let us know.
Well, thank you for that warm introduction. My name is Ebony Jackson. I am a mortgage lender, mortgage loan officer, MLO, different words for it, with Atlantic Bay Mortgage Group. I am licensed. Ebony Jackson is a licensed professional in North and South Carolina and also Virginia. I basically help people get mortgages. That's what I do all day, help people get approved for mortgages.
Oh my God, that sounds so amazing. Miss Renee has this campaign that I really want to take off the ground, which is notary mortgages for notary, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's huge, and that's a huge passion for myself because a lot of entrepreneurs say it's not possible, to get mortgages. So, is it possible for a notary entrepreneur to get like a mortgage?
100%. It is 100% possible for any entrepreneurs to get a mortgage, specifically notaries. Yes, it is possible, with the right mortgage program, the right person on your real estate team. It is 100% possible. Yes.
So, like, tell us a little bit of what are some of the preparations that are needed, right? Uh, to just kind of make sure that, because we only see the back end of it, right? So being a loan signing agent, we only see the back end of the real estate process. We're the 42nd step. The bar, by the time the bar get us, they just like they want to sign their life away, right? At the end of the day. And so we know what a closing disclosure is. We know what an affidavit is. We know what a uniform residential loan application is. We know all of these different things, but we don't really know what they had to go through. We know their pain point, their frustration, because we get yelled at half of the time. When escrow don't got the document, when title don't got the document, we get yelled at. Okay. So because of that, this is something that I want to see, like when it gets to you, right? Or start with, where are you in the process of that? Like, how do you even get to us? Like, break that down for us if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
I'm step one. I'm step one because um a realtor will not take you to see a home without a pre-approval. I issue pre-approvals. I look at your income, I look at your credit score, I look at your assets, your employment history. If you're not employed, I look at your tax returns, your 1099s to see how much you qualify for. And then I run it through a system. It's basically an automatic system that says, yes, this person is approved for a mortgage. Maybe they're approved for a mortgage, and heck no, they ain't approved for a mortgage. Like, that's what the system is. And then from that, I'll look at it. I'll, determine the closing costs and the estimated closing costs and down payment, and then I'll communicate that to my client. So I'm step one. So if you know you want to purchase a home, You need to know what your credit is. It's honestly, it's no excuse as to why people don't know what their credit score is. There's too many free resources out here. If you have a bank account, you can get your credit score for free. Like you can have a ballpark estimate of what your credit score is. So it's definitely a lot of steps before you get to y'all part. But yeah, I guess I'm number one in the process.
Oh my God, you talked about credit reports, and that was so much amazing because of the fact that I remember during COVID, and we're still pending COVID, right? And one of the organizations that really, really helped us just to make sure that we don't have a cost was annualcreditreport.com. So annualcreditreport.com, I'll put on the screen right here, was where they still receive free every week. You wanted to come and get your credit report, they will allow that. Is it currently right now? That's a good question. I want to say since we're still pending COVID, it will be the same case. So yes, it's always good. I wish that's one of the downfalls, like when it comes to, in general, being an entrepreneur, right? People say you can't get business credit. People saying that you can't get personal, like you can't do anything. Like I remember one of my good friends, right? Wealth of money. Well, but situation was you got all the capital, but your credit is not that well, right? So therefore, they don't even want to borrow from you because of your credit history and stuff. So some of the things is just notary personal credit. Notary FICO scores are important, right? Through the process. And so what if someone that had a really bad credit score, what is considered bad? Like in general, like don't consider getting a house if it's not. Because I think like it's like 20, right? Like on average, and it's like,
I'm trying to think of the tiers. There's different, it's brackets. I think anything under 600 is considered fair credit. So I guess anything under 600 is less than fair. That's what I would say. But honestly, like I would say, of course, you can get a better interest rate if you have a better credit score. That's just with anything. But I would say also too, like sometimes if you wait for your credit scores to improve, or if you're not actively working to improve your credit and time is just passing by, now home prices have increased, now interest rates are up, and now the situation looks different. So I think everybody needs to monitor and look at their own credit. There's even, you ever heard the My FICO app?
Oh, My FICO.
My FICO?
I don't think so.
So basically,
like I know FICO, but not My FICO app.
Yes.
I know about Experience, like app that I kind of track on like my auto, score versus my, my asset score versus like my personal score. Like I didn't know that there's like many different scores when it comes to, your FICO.
My FICO is basically the GOAT. Like My FICO is the mama, and Experience, TransUnion, and Equifax is the kid. So My FICO is the government agency that, of course, that does the credit scores, but they have an app. You can see you can pay to see what your mortgage score is. You can pay to see all of the different credit scores. Yeah, I think there's maybe 20 different credit scores. You can pay to see all of the different credit scores. So I tell some of my clients, hey, if you're not sure what your credit score is, and if you want to know what it is before I pull it, go and pay for the My FICO app. It's $30 a month. You can pay for it one time to see what your credit score is. It also tells you how you can improve your credit score, maintain it, or boost it, or whatever. So I have had clients that use it and like it. So yeah.
Wow, My FICO score. So that's something. See, Miss Renee don't know everything. So we bring in the best to tell us how to prepare to be sustainable, because the conference is all about sustainability. And so sustainability starts with one thing and one thing only: knowledge, right? Once you have knowledge, no one can take that ever away from you, right? And I'm pretty sure just like you have to go to multiple different conferences, multiple different jobs, multiple different audiobooks, multiple different reading, even school itself, right? Vocational degrees, whatever, to get a lot of the information that is out there to grab, right? So I thank you for that gem. That was a huge gem.
Yes.
$37. Like I think I'm paying like $29 a month for an experience.
And My FICO, you can see all three of them. You see everything. Instead of paying for one, you see everything. And it's legit. It's government. It's legit. It's the only one. So I love My FICO. Yeah, it's good.
Wow, 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 wow. So let's just go over what we talked about for those that just kind of hopping in. So we talked about, is mortgages possible, right, for notary entrepreneurs? And I phrase it as notary entrepreneurs because we're entrepreneurs, so we don't always come with, right, all of the necessary documents, right? The documents such as the W-2, right? The profile looks a little bit different. And we have a secret out there, right? That is something that we're really going to touch on, right? And what is possible, right? What is possible for, if I am an entrepreneur and I quit my job, right? And they want 2 years of, bank statements, or they want 2 years of, working. What is it possible for that? And that's going to be at the conference. She's going to break all of that down. You'll be able to check out her booth and just kind of pick her brain of just like, where can I go? But give us a heads up, like, what is the preparation process? So we talked about get your FICO score. We talked about, hey, if it's not up at 600, let's start, working on getting things that are making us low, right? In the eyes of, home ownership and lender. So you said you got to get a pre-approval, right? So I get my pre-approval before I even contact a realtor, right? That's the big part. How hard is it really to get a pre-approval?
Honestly, for some people it's easy. When your ducks are in a line, and you have the assets accounts. When I say assets, I mean savings, I mean 401ks, I mean some people have CDs. That's kind of an older thing, like back
I
in the day,
know.
like CDs.
I remember my nephew, I was like, in high school, he was like, yeah, sign up for a CD. And I was like, CD? And he was like, yeah, so if you put your money into a CD right now, when you turn like 30 or 50, you'll be like a millionaire. And I'm like, CD? And then when I get, in my 20s, it's like, yeah, we don't want a CD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, some people, like, I had one client that had a CD, but I know about CDs because my parents had one growing. Like when I was growing up, I had a CD, so that's how I'm familiar with them. But yeah, assets accounts, because if you are, well, which we have on this line, notaries, you're not going to be able. Some of them are not going to be able to go the traditional route to purchase a home, so you're going to have to get a different type of mortgage program, which we will talk about in person at the conference. And that's going to require some assets. So definitely, I tell all of my clients, if you're on Zillow looking around and you're interested in houses, take 7% of that home price and have that saved up. 7 to 10% of that home price and have it saved up. That's
Okay.
what I tell them, because that will give you room for other things, especially in this market. So that's just a gem that I tell my clients. But I'll go into deep detail on the conference. I don't want to give everything away.
Have 7% of saved up for your home purchase.
7 to 10%, yeah.
7 to 10%. So let's do some calculation. I'm an accountant, so let's just do something for those that are out there, right? I just want to see what we can do. Have 7 to 10% saved up for your home purchase as that. So we just put that on the screen real quick, and let's just take that off for those and see. All right, so I got my handy calculator. So with that being said, what is the average home? So like in California, and California is a little bit different.
Yeah.
You coming with 500,000, good luck to you and get much, right? If you're in the city, right? 500,000, good luck. Okay. But what can 500,000 get you in Virginia?
A nice house. A nice house. I'm in Charlotte now, but I think Virginia and Charlotte markets, to me, Virginia is a little bit cheaper depending on the area, but they pretty much mimic each other. I think the national price for a home is about maybe $385,000, if I'm correct about that. I don't know what seven. I know you about to do the math right now.
You said 380?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's about $26,000. Saved up. Wow. So that's really great. Are you saying that based off the closing costs? Right? Are you saying that based off closing costs and all of the little sneak things? Because I know they're like programs like HUD that people say 3%, but then at the same time, it's like you still need a reserve because even though it's 3%, you know, something happened to that house that first year, you just put all your money into the deposit. So, like, break down that 7%. Like, in other words, like, what does that really look like if I get into a program that's like 3%?
Yeah, 3% is the traditional way, and that 7% will cover everything. 3%, you can get a conventional loan, putting 3% down. That's the down payment. Now, your closing costs could be anywhere from 1 to 3%, depending on the home, the location, you as your, you know, your personal stuff. So those costs vary. And also, when you're buying a home, you have to get an appraisal. An appraisal is where an independent party comes out and says, okay, this house is worth this amount. That's required for a mortgage. So those different type of fees are going to come, and they can vary depending on your house, depending on what zip code you're in, depending on if it's a condo, townhouse, multifamily, single family, you got a lake in the backyard. Like, it's too many different variables. So 7% will cover you. And honestly, most of the time I tell people 7%, but it does end up being less than that. But I'd rather you have more than have not enough. So yeah. 7%.
So one of the things that I remember working in corporate that was just an easy way for me to save, like totally, it was like a no-brainer process, was I literally told my HR that I had 2 accounts, right? Put this percentage in one account and this percentage of another account. And that account was not even connected to my main account, right? It was a whole different account. It was like a credit union in the boondocks, right? Because at the end of the day, I did not even want a debit card to it. I didn't want anything because I wanted to make sure that it was just without even knowing that I was saving. And I think that's one of the methods that I like literally share with anybody I ran into. You want to learn how to save, right? Let's just do this. Put 1% there. You know, put $100 there. Just put a dollar amount, 50,
something.
And then add up. That's going to happen. And then now, because 26% 7% when we're going through the pandemic, and we're still pending a recession, it can be like, wow, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
that's a lot.
And that's why entrepreneurship is so important, though. Like, if you really sit back and look at it, like, if the average American, I think it's $55,000 a year. I think if you make that, it's going to be very hard for you to save up. It's going to take you a long time to get to that price point. But entrepreneurship opens up the idea, okay, I might be at my 9 to 5, but on the weekends, if I get 4 signings, I could get to 26 grand by the end of the year. Like, entrepreneurship just opens up that mindset to say, hey, like, I don't have to wait 80 years to buy a house.
Exactly.
So that's the beauty about
and
it.
I love that. And I love that you took it back to notary, right? Like, I tell people the average order is $75. If you make more, that's great. But let's just do the calculation. 26,000 divided by 75. Okay, that's 346 signings a year. Divided by that by, I don't know, let's just say 52. That's about 6 signings a week, right? Divide that by, I want to work 6 days a week. That's like 1 signing a day.
You break it down like that. It's
1 signing a day, right? That's 1 hour of your time. So homeownership is definitely possible, right? If you're just being a loan signing agent part-time and you already have something like full-time, right? And if you know that this is the double, you can always say, hey, 1 signing going to my homeownership, right? And everything else is mine. 1 signing is zero. And I'm working 360 days out of the year. If that's what you really want. But at that moment, it's possible, right? And I love that we were able to break that down together. So I'm super excited. We gave so many gems. Tell us one additional thing before you leave. Are you excited for the conference?
I am so excited. I think it's going to be really, really, really amazing to see like the different people in the room and then all the information. So I'm excited. I'm very happy for you as well. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. It's a lot of work, you guys. I think I put my foot in my mouth, you know. I dreamed of this a year ago, and I'm having a baby. I told everybody, I'm having a baby. And I got 15 days before I deliver, okay? So make sure that if you want to see the baby born, okay, get your ticket to the conference. We have 15% off virtual. You can literally watch the conference right in your own house. All right. And stay tuned, but watch next week. We have economists coming in about the housing. And is it really a slowdown? He's going to be at the conference too. All right. See you next time. And bye, Miss Ebony. And thank you so much.
Thank you.